What's up, everybody? It is week 10, NFL Sunday morning. What a glorious day to be alive. As always, I'm your host here, Tony Cutillo of the Tony Cutillo Show. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You know the drill. Every day, or I should say every Sunday, we pop on here in the morning. We talk about DFS plays. We talk about some best bets. We talk about some crazy jigsaw, crazy parlays. That's why you'll see the jigsaw right there on the bottom left-hand corner, and always powered by our great partners and friends over there at BetQL. Make sure you get over to betql.com, okay? And you get on that subscription jigsaw, 15% off. You'll see the best bets. They're every week. We talk about them. I'm going to share the screen later, show you what you get. And also over at RotoQL, finally got everything going. So I'm going to give you a little optimized DFS lineup, as always, like we like to do, because it's all about value on this show. I say this all the time, and I'm going to continue to say it. If this is a show you're looking at for guys that are minus 185, guys that you're looking at, you go, oh, you know what, man, I think at minus 120, listen, I'm telling you something right now. This is all about value on this show. And we almost hit our parlay last week. Tyler Higbee, unfortunately, just didn't come through with the extra 2 yards. Okay. Or we would have hit that, because that's what we like to do. We hit the long shots. I got 2 crazy parlays for you. So I was taking care of some stuff on Twitter, but we got 2 crazy parlays to hit. We got about 7 DFS values that we want to talk about. And we also have an optimized DFS lineup. I just want to show you how it works based on the values that I'm throwing in. Okay. It's all about based on values that I am throwing in. Everybody, as always, make sure you like and subscribe. Keep this thing going. As always, getting the QR code right there on the left-hand side. Very, very simple. Scan that QR code. All the promos are there. Your better promos, your sleeper promos, your underdog promos. Everything's there. And most importantly, your BetQL promos as well. Everything is there in one spot. So let's get going, man. My man Sean checking in says, look, that's what I love. Sean, thank you. I love when people pop in and they listen. We're not always going to be right? We're not, but I can tell you something with full confidence, and I'm going to bring the comment up in a minute. And Sean, Japan, the guys have followed Adam, followed me for years. Okay, they're going to tell you, and they're going to show you that we are right more than we are wrong. Very, very simple. But I don't pick thousands of players, right? I kind of go in tune with these sleepers and say these can change your lineup. Now, last week, we were in on Parker Washington, right? We were in on Parker Washington in Jacksonville. So Sean checks in, says, Parker Washington was a key part of my DFS season-long fantasy victory last week. Thank you. Parker Washington, 8 catches, 90 yards. Listen, we don't worry about touchdowns unless I specifically say this guy is key for a touchdown today, like we were talking about Tyler Higbee last week, who did score. He didn't get the yardage total, but we didn't talk. What we talked about was, and I dropped a video on it, was specifically the way Matthew Stafford and the Sean McVay offense is working and why they're looking at Tyler Higbee. So that to me, that's what I love. I love when a plan all comes together. So this week, got more of the same. Okay, so let's dive right into it, because there's a lot of interesting injuries this week. I know we got a game going on right now in London with the Falcons and the Colts, and obviously the Falcons. I'm a Drake London guy, right? Japan, what's up, my man? Japan checking in. Japan, we just missed the parlay last week, man. We just missed it. Tyler, I thought we had it when he opened up. At one point he had 14. And then he must have had a loss on one of the catches. And then all of a sudden, like, he went away. All we needed was a yard. But that's how crazy that the parlays, that's what happens, man. That's what happens. But you always bet the single bets, like I tell everybody. Because last week you would have hit on some of those single bets. It would have been a wash, right? You would have been good. And you still would have had your nugget to put towards this week's and the parlay. So let's get right into it. You always do. I'm going to bring up my favorite DFS plays. Again, people hopping in my DMs and talking about, oh, this guy stinks. Understand something. I'm going to say this again. It's all about value. I can't sit here and just talk about guys like Christian McCaffrey. And like, come on, man, that's old. And you can get that anywhere. Okay. ESPN Bet just went out of business. Why? Because they had people that weren't really buying in to what they were selling. They were just giving you whatever. Okay. We dive deep into the depths right here to get you some major value. So let's look at it right now. So here we go. Let's bring up our first DFS. Now, I love this. Okay. Now these are, I have 7 DFS value plays today. 7 DFS. There was a lot of value to me. And you see right off the bat, we're talking 2 players in that Baltimore-Minnesota game. Now, why do I like JJ McCarthy? I would tell you honestly, and I know what the people, real people will understand and believe. Like Japan will know I'm not bullshitting. Sean will know I'm not bullshitting. If Javon Texan is going to know I'm not bullshitting. I originally, and I didn't put it out there, I should have, but I backtracked, and I don't know why. But I originally had JJ McCarthy as my number 1 play at quarterback last week at 4,500, and I took him out. And what did he do? He dropped a 20 piece. Okay, he goes up $400 in value this week. $400. I'm not sold that the Baltimore defense is fixed. Not sold. Just because they had a good week or two, I'm not sold. Minnesota knows how to run offense, and that's because, listen, Kevin McConnell. I mean, the guy is. Or Kevin O'Connell, the guy is a stud when it comes to calling plays. Okay, he is KOC. We could call it whatever we want. I love the KOC name, by the way. I love the KOC name, by the way. I love it. But looking at this game and looking at the way they want to run the offense, and a lot of this is predicated on Aaron Jones. And when Aaron Jones is healthy, and Aaron Jones is giving you that 1-2 punch where you got the bruising back and Jordan Mason that go through the tackles, and you got Aaron Jones being able to get outside the tackles and get those wheel routes and those flat routes that I talk about and I love. It changes the whole dynamic of the offense. And then you have TJ Hawkinson getting involved. Everybody's getting involved. JJ McCarthy is an average quarterback. However, he's got an elite play caller in KOC. So when you have an average quarterback with an elite play caller, good things happen. And when you're talking DFS and you're under 5,000 for your quarterback, I'm sold. I'm in. Now let's go on the other side with Justice Hill. So Justice Hill is another one of those guys that you look at and say, 4,300. A guy he gets you consistent production every week, whether it be 5 points, whether it be 10 points, whether it be 9 points. Okay. He does. He's always involved in that offense. The one thing I look at is when they go up, when Baltimore is going to go up against a really good defensive coordinator and Brian Flores. I'm still not sold that Derrick Henry isn't having a fatigue year. Okay. I still think the whole offense kind of is fatigued a little bit. But now you have Likely that comes back. You have Andrews that really get involved. It's opening up things, and it's opening up that pass game to the running back. And not just the pass game, but he has this extra speed. It's like a Darren Sproles type speed in Justin Hill that I absolutely love. And he's going to get 2 to 3 to 4 targets easily. And listen, I am telling you right now, when you have a Brian Flores offense or defense that's going to obviously heavily spy and try to contain the outside edges on Lamar Jackson, it's going to open up for guys like Justice Hill, and they're going to put some plays in there for Justice Hill this week. So I love his value, that he's going to have double-digit value this week without even getting the end zone. So I love the 4,300. And then let's go to Mac Hollins. So Mac Hollins, double play, what I like about Mac Hollins. I need him to score. All right, this is a Mac Hollins touchdown day. But knowing that Kayshon Boutte is out, Mac Hollins steps up a little bit. He's elevating a little bit. Now, you see, obviously, Diggs and Pop Douglas. I get it. There's no Ramondre Stevenson again. So you got Trevion Henderson. You got Terrell Jennings. But I love Mac Hollins in this play against Tampa Bay because, listen, they're going to focus so much on the up front, on the run. They're not playing extremely well on the back end. They're just not. And Mac Hollins is that guy that could slip through and slip into areas. And I'm telling you right now, am I expecting a heavily targeted game by Mac Hollins? No. but I'm expecting a touchdown. This is where I tell you, I'm expecting a touchdown day for Mac Hollins. That's why at 3,500 for me, it's a great value in DFS based on the way this game is going to work and based on the injuries that they have, especially Keyshawn Butte, who's been that guy who's looking in the end zone, right? He's been one of those guys that's been looked to in the end zone. He's not there anymore, okay? He's not there anymore. So I'm telling you right now, the number 2 option in the end zone for the red zone plays is going to be Mac Hollins today. So I'm all in on Mac Hollins. Then we go a different route here. I'm going to touch Jalen Noel. And I know everybody's been like, dude, he had a 0 last week. I am telling you, I don't buy into any of that. I don't. I look at what his targets were specifically the weeks prior, and he was getting consistent looks. That offense out there, okay, you have to look at it. And again, I know, listen, you had CJ Stroud get beat up last week. You have to look at exactly the way that this entire thing is going to play. Now, I get it. You had Davis Mills this week. And I think this is one of my favorite reasons why I like Jalen Noel. They're still trying to figure out stuff back, man. They are. They're trying to figure out stuff. The offensive line has been brutal at times. The play calling has been, susceptible to criticism. Nico Collins has been in and out because of concussion protocol. Like, they haven't had – Joe Mixon's been on IR all year, right? So they're still trying to figure out everything, right? They're still trying to figure out everything. Now, I think they're going to lean a lot. This could be a Woody Marks week, right? Because you had a guy in Nick Chubb who's been dealing with a foot injury that was limited in practice all week, who's going to play. But you have Woody Marks, who's more dynamic back. So this could be a week for Woody Marks where he's out of the backfield, catching more passes, more heavily involved and leaned on when you have a guy like Davis Mills. But when you have a guy like Davis Mills, he's going to be looking for some intermediate routes, which is, again, I that's why I like Jalen Noel. I do. I like Jalen Noel in this game. I think this is a heavily targeted game for the number 2 or number 3 receiver. It really is when you go with your backup quarterback. He always likes those 2 or 3 receivers. He likes the running back, and he likes the tight end. So I'm going to go Jalen Noel in this week based on, if you take out the 0, the previous 2 weeks where he got about 8 targets combined. Listen, for this value, again, when you talk about DFS value, I'm talking about $3,700, right? I'm talking about $3,700. So he doesn't need to be uber productive in order to get that number. So that's why I like that right there. Now let's flip the screen and go to 3 more. Now, I hope everybody listened to the preseason talk that I had. Even my son came to me and said, Dad, I remember you talking about Zacchaeus. I remember you talking about Zacchaeus out there in Chicago. And everyone's like, Zacchaeus, why do you worry about Zacchaeus? Listen, I've said this, and I'm not gonna rehash everything I said. All I told you guys was the number 3 offense. I mean, a number 3 receiver in a Ben Johnson offense is always going to get a lot of looks. And Zacchaeus is going to be that guy, and he continues to be the guy. He just gets volume. He just gets volume. If you're looking for a guy, and again, it's 3,600. And I'm going to show you how this all works, right? When we do the optimized lineup. I love guys in that 35, 36, 37, 31, 3,200 range, because they offer me the ability to go up and get the big dogs. And these aren't long shots. This is consistent production. This is how I do this. You can tell me I'm wrong, which is fine. Again, everybody has their own way about things. Zacchaeus is a guy who's good. Listen, 5 for 35, 5 for 40, 4 for 40. That's why he's got 8 points per game, right? That's not touchdowns. It's all based on volume and PPR production, which is why we call this the alternative edge, where I talk about fantasy and betting value. And I think this is one of the players that combines the two. That's why I like Zacchaeus this game. It's a high over and under. Giants, listen, they're struggling right now. A lot of things going on in Giant land. So it's going to be another. I know Adunze had a 0, so it's going to be forced. That's fine. That's fine. But again, you can't stop everybody. You saw how creative Ben Johnson was getting last week. DJ Moore has a big week last week, right? Colston Loveland has a huge week, which we called, by the way, which we called on this show. But I love Zacchaeus this week just to give you that value of a 4 for 40, 5 for 50 type game. Give you those 8 to 12 points that you're going to need as consistent production, that let alone, as a value. So your big dogs can eat, and then these guys can pick up the scraps. Now let's get to some tight end value. You guys know I love tight end value here. So Elijah Arroyo, I don't care if it was a blown out game. I don't care. He showed the ability and the athleticism that they love, that Kubiak loves. And I know they have AJ Barner. I get it. But I just think little by little, listen, the one thing about Clint Kubiak is he likes to get everybody involved. Clint Kubiak he loves offensive play calling. He loves it. His dad was a mastermind. The reason why his dad listen, how many running backs did he create out there in that Denver system? When I'm talking about Gary Kubiak, how many times did he create those kind of players, right? He likes to just spread the ball around to different guys. And Arroyo is going to give them the option to do something different. They just traded for Rashid Shaheed, which I think is huge. So now you have JSN, right? Now you have Arroyo. Now you have Shaheed. It's going to open up things for Kenneth Walker, I feel. You still have Charbonnet. Now you have Barner. You have Arroyo. You have 6 really legitimate options that are athletes that are going to run and they're going to catch. And I love it. So Arizona stinks right now. They just put Kyler Murray on IR. You got Jacoby Brissett. Like Gannon's just coaching for his job. I get it. But this Seattle offense is it's rolling. It's rolling. So I love the confidence that he got by getting the end zone last week. And I love this week just for the simple fact that I think it opens up even more Rashid Shaheed. And it's just going to utilize so many different parts of the field. So I love Arroyo this week for value again. I love Arroyo for value of 4,600. At 2,600. Now let's go to my favorite dude this week. I loved Greg Dulcich when he was with Denver. Right, here's a guy who was doing nothing. He was on a practice squad, right, in Miami, a dumpster fire out there. And what happens? He gets called up because Waller gets placed on IR. And what happens? He inserts him. He gets you a 8 to 9 point productive week, right? Because from a PPR standpoint, that's what he does. So I love Greg Dulcich this week. Why? Why do I love Greg Dulcich? Because the way this Miami offense, listen, this game is going to be a shit show. I get it. But Tua just loves throwing to the tight ends, man. That's why Waller was huge, right? He loves throwing to the running backs and the tight ends. And Dulcich, listen, again, it's one of those picks that you look at, and somebody's going to tell me, dude, what the hell? I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm dead serious. I have my number one guy in season-long fantasy. My guy is Travis Kelce. I drafted. He's been my tight end all year. However, what I did was he's on bye this week, so I picked up Greg Dulcich. I'm starting Greg Dulcich this week. I'm starting him in season-long fantasy football because I honestly think that Dulcich gets in the end zone. I do, and I think not only does he get in the end zone, but what I love about him is he's going to give you solid production, and it doesn't matter. Here's the best part: it doesn't matter this game. It doesn't matter what happens, whether they try to upset or whether it's blown out. Dulcich's still going to be on the field. He's still going to be on the field, right? That's what I love about him. Listen, he had 5 targets last week, and he caught all 5. 100% target to catch ratio. 100%. And by the way, if you round it up, he was at double-digit yards per catch. Again, in an offense that's just looking for playmakers, okay? Looking for playmakers. Greg Dulcich is just a guy that's going to move the sticks. So give me Greg Dulcich this week. I love it. I love the play. I could be dead wrong. He could turn out to a pile of shit this week. But I am telling you right now, I am all in on Greg Dulcich this week. I do. I love the way this is setting up for a Greg Dulcich type of value game. I do. I really, really do. Well, man, Japan checking it says Greg. So they're right there. Again, we're going right off the bat. They're the values. Now let's get to the bets. And today I got 2. These are just 2 crazy bets. And again, when I put these jigsaw crazy parlays out there, again, the single bets are huge. The single legs are huge. And sometimes people take out what they like and they put it in their own, which is great. Again, Tony Cutillo Show right here, Alternative Edge, where we talk fantasy and betting value. I am Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. We're sponsored and partner with our good friends over there at BetQL. Get 50% off any package over there with the code word Jigsaw. If you're, again, whether it's RotoQL, which for your DFS needs, or your betting needs at betql.com. Whatever it is, and I'm going to show you what you get, which is really, really cool, which helps me. It doesn't, like, I would say it helps influence after the fact. It's post-influence. Like, I put in my own stuff, and then I go to BetQL, and I'm like, all right, cool. All right, cool. Like, I like this. We're on board. We're on pace right here. But what I like to see where the sharp money's coming in. I like to see all the reports, and it's all on one page. I don't have to go flip it around, which is why I like BetQL. So let's get to the crazy parlays, right? Let's get to the crazy parlays because I want to keep this a half hour. So here's a monster. This is an ATD, anytime touchdown. And this is anybody that obviously is a plus. Now, Walker is a little lower, plus 160. I wanted to stick this to obviously to go plus 200 or more, but it didn't work out that way, but that's okay. These are 4 guys that I honestly feel that are very likely to get in the end zone, and they're not juicy minus 145 plays, right? Dalton Kincaid, I know he scored last week, but again, he has been becoming such a huge red zone target week in and week out, whether he's catching it in the end zone or not. He has been involved in the red zone every single week, more than ever, I feel. Honestly, more than ever. The past 3 or 4 weeks, I feel like his plays within the red zone have, listen, again, and we talk about this Miami game. Again, they're dumpster fire right now, right? They're a dumpster fire, but he's finally getting consistent looks. That's what's important, right? He's finally getting consistent looks. Oh, and by the way, he did score against them last time, but that, again, I just like the consistency from Dalton Kincaid. I like it. He's already in 7 games, 22 yards away from his total in 13 last year. He's at 411 right now. He had 448 last year in 13. So he's already on point. That just shows the consistency factor. And the reason why I like the consistency is, again, I am not talking about consistency as like he's getting 100. No, I'm talking about consistency of being involved. He already has 4 touchdowns. Like, to me, it's him and Dallas Goedert are 2 guys that you can always rely on to really get those down deep red zone looks. And I love, again, in this gameplay and everything the way it's shaping out, I love Dalton Kincaid based on that fact. Then I like Terrell Jennings. Listen, we hit on Terrell Jennings last week. I like it again. No Ramondre. Anytime Ramondre Stevenson is not it, I'm going to go in on Terrell Jennings because now he becomes the guy that they flip the scripts on with Trevion. And Trevion, which I saw, is Trevion is starting to get the point where he's getting a lot of catches, a lot of looks, and Terrell is going to be not just that goal line back, but that bruising back. It's almost like what I talked about earlier with Jordan Mason and Aaron Jones. It's the way I feel like they're setting this up when Ramondre is out. So I like Terrell Jennings. I think this is going to be many goal line opportunities or red zone opportunities. And they do like to run the ball, right? They do like to run the ball. Always, whenever you're talking about a Mike Vrabel style of team and a oh my God, Josh McDaniels type offense, you know they're going to run the ball. Then we're going to the Minnesota game. I talked about, again, JJ McCarthy as being one of my guys. TJ Hawkinson gets in last week. I like him again to get in, man. I do. I like the way this matchup is setting up because you can only do so much. You can only do so much in zone. I mean, you're talking about an offense now that, again, I talked about when Aaron Jones is healthy, that you have all exactly. How is Hawkinson plus 300, right? And I got that Sean, that's on BetMGM. I booked that on BetMGM. So I literally put that in right before the show. Plus 300. So that's still live. That's still fresh. Okay. So you're talking, yeah. How is he plus 300? Please explain to me how he's plus 300. I don't understand. Right. And then, and just real quick on that offense in Minnesota, there's so many mouths to feed. But the thing is, there's so many options for the other team. And when you're talking about Baltimore already struggling, that's just another guy that has an opportunity. And again, JJ McCarthy is mobile. He can move around. So I love TJ Hawkins's red zone looks today. So that's why I'm in on that. And I talked about the Clint Kubiak offense, the way it's just going to the next level, getting Rashid Shaheed, stretching the field, right? That's important. You're already stretching with JSN, but JSN's all over, right? Not just stretching. He does everything. Cooper Kupp back this week. Okay. Another guy, a possession guy. So now you have JSN and you have Rashid Shaheed getting stretched the field. Cooper Kupp, maybe insert 20, 30% of the snaps as he's getting back to health, right? And you get that possession type receiver, Zach Charbonnet, right? You get that possession style running back, but then you also get Kenneth Walker, right? Who can leak out at times. I think there's going to be multiple opportunities this game to score, and this is the week Kenneth Walker gets in the damn end zone. I'm in. Sign me up. So there you go. Plus, listen. I mean, come on, people. Plus 12,380. Plus 12,380. I mean, do I have to, like, again, and here's the best part about this. I love every single one of these anytime touchdown plays. So I'm betting every single one of these, and they're going to put them in a parlay. That's just what I do. I love doing it. So why not put them all together? And hey, look, if it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. At least I know. My thing is, if I get 2 out of 4 of these to hit based on the units, I already know I am ahead of the game and I'm good for the next round. So that's where I'm going. Let's go. We're so due. I know, man. I know. And here we go. Let's finish this up. Here's a 4-legger. Now, I like this, baby. These 2+ money bets in here amaze me, Japan. Sean, I know you're watching again. So I'm shocked that Greg Dulcich has a plus money bet at over 2.5. I am shocked. He comes off the practice squad last week, inserts himself raw, and gets 5 looks and 5 catches. You're going against a Buffalo team whose defense, listen, is not great. They let up points, right? They have issues. And I know Miami has issues too, but we're talking about throwing to the tight end. All right, come on. Like, you mean to tell me he's going to fall off and get only 2 catches this week? I don't see it. I don't see it. In this game, the way this is set up for Greg Dulcich, I love, again, even if he drops down 1 or 2, that's still 3. You're still ahead and you're hitting the over 2.5. I don't understand. Like, that's just me. That's, to me, this could be something. Oh, it's a teaser. It's a sucker bet. Whatever, dude. I'm not in for that. What I'm saying is, this is what I look at. I look at a very attainable, very easily profitable bet if it hits, and that's what I like. So that's one of my legs right there. That's a plus money bet, over 2.5 by Greg Dulcich, right? Then we're going to go Kyle Monange. Monange, I'm sorry. Monange showed that even when DeAndre Swift is healthy, they have another guy. And what did Ben Johnson do in Detroit? He had 2 bangers out there in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. And somehow, some way, he found an available script for both of those guys to eat. And you see what's happening right now. They can't figure it out because Ben Johnson's not there. So Monange is going to get involved. And the thing is, this number is super low to me. Because even when, here's what I look at. Even when DeAndre Swift was healthy, even when, the best thing I like about it was Monange was still involved in the passing game. So he's still going to be involved in the passing game. Even if he's relegated to 3rd downs, what's going to happen? 3rd and longs, who's going to get those screens? Who's going to get those throws? It's going to be Kyle Monange. So Monange, I look at this and I go, holy shit, it's only over 5.5 receiving yards. So just based on everything that I look at, from the coach to the scheme to obviously DeAndre Swift coming back and to the opponent, I'm in. Like, sign me up. Over 5.5. I love that play. And then banking on exactly what I talked about with Justice Hill. Again, we're going receiving yards over 11.5. Little higher, right? Little more juiced up at minus 120. However, I talked about it. I think he gets involved a lot because of what they're going to do to try to shut everybody else out in a Brian Flores defense. So give me Justice Hill right there at over 11.5. And then let's close it up. But here's the long shot. There's always the one play. And the funny thing is, I think this is a bigger long shot than the Greg Dulcich play. But the long shot is Zay Jones. Zay Jones. Now, this to me is a total gut call. You have Kyler Murray, who goes on IR, who, again, I know he hasn't played, but so Jacoby Brissett comes in. Jacoby Brissett likes spreading the ball around. He does what he can. A very, very serviceable quarterback. Tremendously good defense out there in Seattle. Now, obviously, they're playing in Seattle, where crowd noise is going to be a factor, always a factor. But what better quarterback to silence that Jacoby Brissett? He's played there. He gets it. He understands, right? He knows. He knows. Zay Jones is that reliable veteran guy that's just going to, like, they're going to probably have scripted 5 to 7 plays for Zay Jones this week. And the one thing about Jacoby Brissett is he can still get outside the pocket and extend plays. And one of the best guys to be able to come back and help his quarterback out is Zay Jones. That's what this defense is going to allow you to do. It's going to allow you to stretch the field a little bit, meaning with Jacoby Brissett, or I should say extend the play more with Jacoby Brissett. And what's going to happen is I feel like Zay Jones is going to give you those available little quick skinny post routes, little, comebackers, maybe a back shoulder catch. I don't know. But to get over 1.5 at plus money to me is just too good to be true. So I'm all in. I'm feeling like a 3 for 25 catch day, 3 for 25 with Zay Jones. So sign me up for that. And again, that's plus 1535. And that's over there at BetGM. Now, before we get out of here, I want to show you again. I like doing this because I want to show you an optimized lineup with some of my value guys. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if we can do this right. I'm my own producer, so I apologize if I get this wrong. All right, so it's not easy. All right. So here we go. I think I got it. Yeah, baby. I think did I get it? No, hold on. Let's do this. There we go. All right. So I think we're good now. Look at that. Look at that. I try. There we go. All right. Now we're good. All right. So this is my optimized lineup. Okay. Now this is what I do on BetQL, on RotoQL, which is their DFS platform. So I just want to show you guys this real fast. And I want to show it to you because what I did was, this is under their projection model. All right, under their optimizer. And again, 15% off. Use that code word Jigsaw. You'll get the same thing I'm looking at. Okay, you get all the projection models, everything for NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NHL, golf. Now, I locked in 3 of my favorite values, which was Olamide Zaccheaus, Greg Dulcich, and JJ McCarthy. And then all I did was hit generate, okay, which is right here. Generated me 20 lineups. Now, this was at 8:56 this morning, right before I came on air. So just to give you an idea of why I love the value plays. So here's McCarthy. Here's Zaccheaus. Here's Dulcich. Look what I'm able to fit in my lineup. A-Chain, McCaffrey, Puka, and Trey. Look at that top 4. Trey McBride, Puka Nacua, Christian McCaffrey, and Devon A-Chain. 4 studs. 4 studs, right? 4 studs. Like, you're talking about a $9,000 cap on Christian McCaffrey, an $8,700 cap on Puka, right? $7,400 Devon A-Chain, and $6,000 on McBride, just by giving you the value of guys like Zaccheaus, like Greg Dulcich, and like JJ McCarthy. Right? I mean, look, this one's a little different. This one gives you, I don't know if I like the Jawan Jennings over Shakir. I mean, that's big, but it gives you the Browns defense. You saw how many sacks that, again, against the Jets. We could be watching another 4-sack game for Myles Garrett. So that's why, again, I talk about why I do the value plays. Okay. But again, if you go over to rotoql.com, use that code word Jigsaw, as always, you'll get your 15% off. And again, you'll be able to do the same thing, right? It's going, look, you're getting 20 lineups. Now, look, we could go, like, say we wanted even to add in somebody else. Say, who's another guy that we were so in on, right? So in on. Maybe we want a Arroyo, right? Maybe we want a Arroyo. Nah, you know what? Let's go. Oh, we're doing this live. Let's go. Tony is a fight. I try, bro. Shakur will be fought. Yes, he's playing in front of his family day. He's going to go off. I love it. I love that, man. Like, I see that's the kind of stuff that, that we have to look at. That's the kind of stuff, right? So let's just say we throw Mac Hollins in here, right? Let's say we take out Zacchaeus, right? And let's say we put in Mac Hollins. All right. There we go. Right? You just type it in, boom, very, very simple. We're going to put him in, right? Now you have Mac Hollins. Then we're going to hit this. We're going to hit generate lineups. It's working. Boom. Update it, 940. This is how easy this is, right? 20 lineups we got, and these are our 3 guys that we liked in those lineups, and we locked them in, okay? So here you go. It's the same lineup, but look at this one. Now you get a Zay Flowers, right? This one's give you, look at their number 1 optimized lineup. Now you're getting your Browns, but here's the thing. Your projection dropped by 1.5 points, 96.4. You were getting 97.5 when you had Zacchaeus in, right? That just means that they think Zacchaeus is going to give you more than Mac Hollins. His projection, 4.5, right? So, again, it all depends on where you're going. Again, you can look at everything from your trending to your DVPs, your actuals, your consistencies, your floor, your ceiling, your salary. Then look, if you're a rookie, if you're a beginner, you just got to click on this right here. It tells you sort lines by, consistency, very, very short lines by consistent players based on past performance. I mean, it's very, very simple. Very, very. I love the optimizers. They're some of my favorites, right? I love the optimizers. So that's what we do. Again, BetQL, okay, and RotoQL. So you go to rotoql.com, okay, you see my name, Bet with Jigsaw. Get right there, get 50% off, and then we'll go over. We'll stop sharing this one, okay? And then let's go again. Let's go to, let's see what BetQL's got. All right, so now we're on BetQL. All right, which is, again, this is just for the sports bettors. Okay, and they always have their top games on here. All right, always have their top games. So they're looking at a 4-star betting game. Look at the Dolphins Bills, right? What do we let's go look at that game. So we're gonna click on set full analysis, right? All right, set on that. Right away, you're gonna come up. It's gonna give you the consensus of the actual game. All right, it's already giving you the over and under. It's giving you whatever the line is. It's going to give you what the sharp better report is, where the sharp look at all that money coming in on the Buffalo Bills, right? Nothing on the Dolphins, right? Nothing. Here's my favorite. We're going to go down to the prop game. Okay, look at they have a 4-star prop bet for Tua going over 21.5 passing completions. So can I just talk about why I love that? Why I love that, because that just means easy passes to 2 guys, Devon Achane and Greg Dulcich. And because of that, what happens? Greg Dulcich, he gets that percentage up. That's what I love about it. I absolutely love about it, right? I absolutely love about it. So that's another one that I like. And then let's see what else they got any 4. They got a 3-star. Look, Akinye is again, we know about him, obviously. Keon Coleman, they got an over on a 3-star bet. And look at the Dawson Knox under receiving. That's an interesting one. So you might want to look at that. That's one of their best bets, is the under receiving for Dawson Knox under 10.5. But again, this is what you get from all the games. Okay? This is what you get from all the games. And look, all the games are right up here. So if you want to click on it, you click on that game, boom, it just shows you, it changes everything right there. It gives you the look at the Lamar Jackson unders, the over rushes, for JJ McCarthy, under completions, right? That they think it's under completions. We shall see, right? Aaron Jones under rushes because he's going to be involved more in the passing game, in my opinion. Look at the Derrick Henry. right? There's so many different. Jordan Naylor, he's a 3-star bet, under 1.5. They don't think he's going to be involved. Look at the Rashad Bateman. Look at we're going to come back to this today. Rashad Bateman, 2 5-star bets, both on unders. Look at that, under 2.5 and under 27.5. So again, that's what you get at betql.com. Very, very simple. Okay. Use that code word Jigsaw. Get your 15%. You have any questions? Obviously, you just let me know. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Japan says Shakir's dad is see that? My Christmas tree's up. I'm already decorated for Christmas. Shout out to the wife for hooking that up for me with the little Philly fanatic down at the bottom. Yeah, Japan. Thanks, brother. We back at the Sixers game tonight. We'll be back. Me and my boy will be at the Sixers game tonight. Can't wait for that little Sunday night action. Get to watch football all day. Go to the game at night, which I love. I can't wait for that. Shakir will be playing in front of his family today. He's going to go off. I love that. I didn't know that. Japan says Shakir's dad lives in Tampa. You only get this information. Look at that. Like Shakir's dad lives in Tampa, Florida. You only get this information here on the Tony Cutillo Show by our great mind in Japan. So thank you, Japan, for that. Cam Little. Oh, over 1.5 field goals made at -110. I love the kicker plays, Japan. I think I'm going to hit that when we're done. I love the kicker plays. Listen, as always, going to wrap this up. I'm Tony Jigsaw Cutillo. Yeah, look, man, I'm actually on. I got a game plan where I sit on the second level, first 3 rows, aisle seats, which I love because, again, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not paying $100 a ticket to sit down low. So I sit because it's a great seat right in the corners or center court, couple rows in. I love it, man. It's less crowded. It's so much, to me, experience is great. So I've been doing that for years. So I don't think you're going to see me on TV, but you'll see me with a couple selfies. I can promise you that. Post it with my boys. So what we do is I get a game plan. We split the tickets. I go to half with one son, half with the other son, and then sometimes I let them two go together. So because they're old enough. Take me to a 76ers game too. Yo, bro, like I said, cut the hair. Not even better. You cut the hair. Maybe we'll go to you want to see something cool? We'll go to a Blue Coats game. Which is my good partners and friends over there at the Blue Coats, because you be sitting like live on the court watching the guys before they come up. It's pretty cool. So yeah, we'll definitely take care. I'll take care of you, Japan. You know that, for real. All right, everybody. Look, I'm gonna get out of here. Again, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow the YouTube page, QR code right here for all your deals, for all your sports books, for BetQL, for everybody. It's right there. Again, support the little guy, stop supporting the big guy. You saw what happened with ESPN. ESPN bet goes out. All those people you thought you gave the QR codes to and you bumped up their pockets, they're not even there. They give you bad information anyway. Now, get from people that actually give you the right information, or at least available to help. That's all I say, whether it be me or anybody else in the community. Support the smaller guys, man. Just like support small business, support the smaller guys. That's all I ask. Everybody have a fantastic Sunday. As always, let's see if those bets hit. Hop in that Discord. We can talk a little bit later, but everybody stay safe and stay healthy. And listen, have a fantastic Sunday.